All right, and then you're going to lie over a pile of, I've got 3 folded blankets here. Now, if someone's throwing their head back very slightly, which Anne is, then she just needs another layer under her head.
Prop.
And that way, you want the forehead a little bit higher than the heart, which is your left side. Okay, so the forehead's very slightly above, and then that's immediately calmer. Is that right for your shoulders?
Yeah,
Anne?
that's nice.
So this is really good for, I was going to say lowering blood pressure, but you know it is as far as menopause goes.
Yeah.
Because as you can see, the chest is open, the face is quiet, and the other thing you can do, if people are stiff here, which they often are, then you can, I mean, if you're running out of blankets, you can roll a big towel up, because you're not going to make it dirty, you can go back into the cupboard. Just lift your knees very slightly, Anne, okay, and then release them. And you put a roll under your ankle. Is that comfortable?
That is really comfortable.
Because
that's just taken.
The thing is, that's what happens there is your legs can rest down, but they're getting some support. So, I mean, if you were someone, lift your knees a bit. If you were someone who had some yoga support, if you know, there might be people that look at this website who do something, then you would have some bricks. So now, take your legs out. They are your thighs. They keep the lift of the inner thighs up. And is that as comfortable? I feel like you feel
I prefer the blanket.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one way. And then we're going to do crossways. So sit up. You're still doing Baddha Konasana, so you'll be happy.
Good.
She likes this one. So that your
talking about the blankets
your buttocks
now.
are comfortable, but your feet are sticking on the mat when you're in Baddha Konasana. This is to open the chest, but it's also comfy. It's springy.
Yep.
All right, and then this is to lengthen the back of the neck, so the head isn't hanging backwards. So just
And does it? So it has to be lower than the middle.
No.
With-
If you're stiff in the neck, you need this to be raised. And
Right.
In fact, I'll quickly get 2 blocks. But what you don't want is that
Oh,
if anything, that would make you can see instantly.
I can, yes.
That would make you more tense and more upset.
Yeah.
So actually. For the purpose of this, you could use anything, because you could take another cushion from the sofa, you could use your pillow. So if it was raised, I'll just show you, because it's probably a tiny bit better if your head's slightly raised. But this is the point, and then this is here. And it needs to support your neck. Can you see?
Yes, I can. Yep.
But if it's too much, and again, it's the other thing, isn't it? Your neck would be tight if your head was too high up.
Yeah.
So you need to find so it feels comfortable compared to. So I've put a couple of bricks underneath behind it.
Yeah.
Great.
Want it similar height? I'd say possibly here. No, I'd say that's probably okay.
And looking at what you're doing, if people can see this pose, you don't have to be able to do anything. You could do this without anybody.
You can do this
here.
without anybody safely. You can do it after you've eaten safely. The only thing is, I don't think you should ever be doing yoga if you've had a few drinks.
Right.
Just put that on the record.
Yeah. Well, obviously, it's another thing you can't do in menopause anyway. Drink. You can't have any fun.
Oh, I haven't heard that. You're not meant to drink.
You're not. You meant to cut everything you quite like.
Hot flushes.
And actually, general health, isn't it? It's sort of an
yes.
impact on.
Yes.
But yes.
Yeah. Well.
Caffeine, alcohol, cake, biscuits.
Yes.
Everything in moderation.
So what I wanted to say also is we're demonstrating some relaxation poses, but actually if you're someone who's interested in yoga or you already do yoga, keeping up a full practice is very good for your hormone balance. So, you know, this website isn't advocating you only do resting poses, just it's very good to try them.
Yeah, we're just showing some relaxation here because
Yeah.
we keep saying a lot of it about dealing with menopause is being able to relax and take time out for yourself.
Yeah, if you're
Yeah.
suffering from anxiety or stress or just
Yes.
can't sleep and you want ways of relaxing.
Yeah.
And if you started to practice some of these poses, who knows, you might start to like it. Look at me crawling up that wall like a veteran, and I might be coming along to one of your classes, Annie.
Well, I hope so.
That's it. Just carefully, because it's a bit closer than when it's on the bolster.
Is it?
But then I'll show you, or get Anne to go sideways, because some people might not want to go roly-poly. But basically, the reason when you go roly-poly is you get more opening here, and you move the thighs back, stretch the heels up, and then this is lovely and open, and you can feel the shoulder blades drawing in, and that's just immediately quiet for the brain, isn't it? You just feel, you know, so your fingers can curl slightly.
And also your chest is open. So
The chest is so open, so this is really good if you're prone to heart palpitations, and it would be good in a hot flush as well.
Well, you instantly, because almost you instantly want to breathe slower.
Yeah, it's very calming.
I'm feeling calm.
Yeah.
But then that's because I'm watching, not doing.
Do you want to show how to get out?
Yes, thanks.
So you're going to bend
Perfect.
your knees, push your feet on the floor, and then you've got the blanket behind, so you're going to slide onto the blanket.
So that
behind.
bottom blanket's really important, because if you're doing it on a carpet or something, you just
Oh, God, yeah.
In a carpet, some carpets would be fine, wouldn't they? But
Yeah.
it's
It just makes it easier to
ideally,
slide.
yeah. And whatever you do, ideally you want to get yourself
A towel,
even
a bath
yeah,
towel.
but I still think you should do whatever you do on a yoga mat. There's something about it, just gives you that space that you're using, kind of defines it.
It does define it.
You know
You
what I
know
mean?
you've got enough space.
Not
to do
sitting in
this.
front of the telly, no, obviously not then, if you're on a bolster.
No,
or
but
you're
anything
sitting
lying
laying-
down.
Yeah.
And it's that slight cushion.
So when you come down, you rest like this for a moment, because then that's you're lengthening the spine, and your feet are slightly raised, which also because that lifts the sacrum slightly. That also lengthens the lower back, soften the abdomen. Good, and then you can.
And you always roll over.
And you always roll over to your right when you get up from your yoga pose.
Yes. It's always to the right.
Always to the right, because the heart's on the left, so it just.
Oh, I didn't know the reason why.
There's always a reason, Anne.
I didn't know there was a real reason.
The thing is, so you don't hold it for long.
Yeah, so
You're
you-
rolling straight over and
Okay.
then slide down.
And Anne, did that take a bit when you first started doing that? Did you
I was
feel...
all right.
You
Doing
found
that.
Anne's quite sporty with something, so
Well,
but I have plenty.
Sporty girl, yes.
Vice
Like me,
gymnastics.
I would not be your
I have
sporty one,
plenty
so...
of people- well, and I was, but actually with this one, I think I found people like me who are naturally a bit scared. As soon as you do it, it's actually because it feels so nice because it
Yeah.
draws your shoulder blades in. It instantly makes sense.
Have a solid wall.
So when you come down, I'll just quickly show how, or do you want to show how to go up if you're scared?
Yeah, because you can explain it.
So, all right. So if someone doesn't feel like doing roly-poly, which is actually, if you're quite stiff, you
Like
know, you're
me.
doing this, you're just getting into a bit of yoga, then it's not a good idea to try roly-poly straight away. So you would sit on the edge of the support, and this isn't dignified. You have to roll up as far. You have to push your hips into the wall, because then when you turn round, you want your tailbone to be over the edge. The reason why this pile of blankets is not touching the wall is so that your tailbone slightly hangs down over it.
It drops
And
into the void.
It drops towards the floor,
Okay.
which draws the navel down, and that's what gives you the length in the spine. Okay, so and then likewise to come down, you can push yourself back. That's probably better, but I'm just for the sake of so people can see. You're rolling sideways, and that's how you go up to get on. Right, you're rolling sideways. You really push yourself into the wall.
Well, you make it look so easy. I can't wait to try it.
We could always film you try.
Maybe not.
Okay.
Maybe another day.
Here.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it. So when someone finds it there, and then you stretch your heels, not your toes with yoga, that's it. So when because your bottom's not quite on the wall, just so you can feel, mind you,
Hang on, it's
okay,
there.
carry on wiggling, there you go.
Got it.
There you go.
Ah.
that makes sense. Yes, got it.
So then this is all moving this way, palms face the ceiling, because you don't need to do anything particularly with it, but turn to face the ceiling, because then you can feel that your shoulders go down.
It feels really comfortable. Now Anne had her hands pointing up. Do I need to do that? I want to do everything that Anne does. Well, not
In the
everything.
surrender, you want them in surrender.
That's
Yeah.
what I call help position.
Help.
And in help position, your biceps are slightly constricted.
Yeah, I like this.
And then that's giving you that work in your shoulder blades.
How long are we doing this for then? On a day, 5 minutes?
Well, that is yes, because if you're comfortable, you stay 5 minutes.
So
in there.
this is your making time for yourself going, oh my God, I've got to have some time away from
Yes.
all of the stresses and strains. It's
Yes.
really relaxing.
Yeah.
And I am not one of life's natural exercises. So 5% is relaxing.
So you can cope with a nice relaxing.
Yeah, and you said this would be good for a hot flush.
Yeah, really.
And
good.
heart palpitations.
Heart palpitation,
Yeah, hot
right?
flush, heart
Well, I'm
palpitations.
certainly having the hot flushes. So obviously you couldn't do this at work, but you can do it at home.
Yes.
Sleep. Can you fall asleep, do you think?
Probably if you left long enough.
How am I getting out of this?
So now, I think it's nice to bend your knees, push your feet on the floor, on the wall, and
Yeah.
slide yourself backwards on the blanket.
Oh.
I showed rolling sideways. If
You do kind of strangle yourself a bit with your top, don't you, when you do it? But
Okay.
that's normal.
Yeah.
And
And then you can roll over onto your back. That's
right.
it.
There you
Okay.
go. Ta-da! Joe's first yoga pose.
That was my first yoga pose.
So the importance that we like about this one is 1, you're comfortable, 2, you're warm, and 3,
Relax.
relaxed.
All right. So here.
So I don't have to flex my feet here, do I?
You don't flex your feet. You let your legs roll out very
Excellent.
slightly. All right. And if someone's got a problem with their shoulders, you might put their hands on blocks. But on the whole, you want to be able to just lie down. This is
Yeah.
for someone just having a go. And so also.
So I'd say again, if you're on a carpet, I'd put a towel down or something just to make it just a little bit.
Yeah. Or a rug.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, so you could put a folded tea towel or a hand towel or something over your eyes, because actually, even if the light leaks in a little bit, it's sort of psychological that you've got something over your eyes so that you're shutting out the day.
Annie has these wonderful lavender bags, don't you?
Yeah.
That just
If you don't happen to have a handy lavender bag, use a belt, use something that's kind of quite even as it goes over, and a little tiny
flannel or something like that. Folded
flannel would be fine. Yeah, flannel, exactly. Something small that you can fold into that sort of width. All right, and so the main thing about any breathing is you're not giving yourself a job, you're not punishing yourself, so that if you don't feel you're doing it right, you just let it go, because when you start to focus on your breath, some people can get very conscious about it, and then it makes breathing a bit harder, but you're doing this to relax. So you start off by just observing your inhalations and your exhalations. You're not altering them, you're just bringing your awareness to them, because obviously we breathe all the time and we don't notice what we're doing. And then you gradually just use your exhalation to release down to the floor, so that you spread your buttock muscles and your thigh muscles relax, and the skin on the tops of your shoulders rolls down, and your biceps, your arms feel heavy because you've relaxed your biceps and triceps, abdomen soft. And then you could take a normal, so after an exhalation you take a normal inhalation, and then you slightly lengthen the exhalation, and use that exhalation to release onto the floor. And try and take, when you do that, you take a couple of normal breaths between. Unless you're used to doing pranayama, it's very important to do a couple of breaths between doing a slightly controlled breath, because otherwise you'll find you hold tension in your throat, and it's important not to hold any tension. So keeping the eyes rolled down inside the eye sockets and the throat soft and the jaw soft. After your next exhalation, take a normal inhalation and then slightly lengthen your exhalation. So you're just slightly constricting the airflow through the nostrils, and then another couple of normal breaths when you're ready. So really you do this for about 5 cycles, and as you get more confident you can not do the normal breaths between. But like I say, it's very important because actually you can end up with quite a headache if you're forcing your body and it's not used to this breathing. So it's more important to do less and have it quieter than try and just say I've mastered this and be gripping. So if are we doing a little bit more? Do you want to do the longer inhalations and the normal exhalation?
Yeah, they would be quite good.
Yeah. So then another way to it's quite good to start with the longer exhalations to start with, because that helps to release the body. You're sinking onto the floor. So then you're going to do after your next exhalation, take a longer, slower inhalation. So you feel the air percolating up through the lungs. And then you pause very slightly at the top of the breath. And then you do a normal exhalation. A couple of normal breaths. All breathing with the pranayama is through the nostrils. Alright, so if someone's got a cold and they have to breathe through the mouth, then they obviously can't help that. But ideally, you're breathing in and out through the nostrils. So we'll do that another cycle. Alright, so after your next exhalation, take a longer, slower inhalation. Feel the breath percolate up through the lungs. Don't overinflate. Slight pause at the top of the breath. And then a normal exhalation. So again, you would practice that for about 5 cycles, and you can stay longer and you can do shorter. And you can also join them up so that when you've practiced more, if you find it easy or if you practice enough, then you can do the longer, slower inhalation with the pause, and then the longer, slower exhalation with the slight pause at the bottom. Right. Both very calming in the brain when you do it correctly, when you're not fighting, just stop immediately if you feel any tension. All right, I think that.
I love that.